Well, y'all, the revenge polls have been released. It turns out it's breaking news when Democrats win in blue areas, even though it's by the slimmest of margins, which we're going to walk through the entire thing because I've been saying for a while now, if you're having to say who's going to win, it's a toss-up on a far left state like New Jersey, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on a win or potential win tomorrow. Guys, this one is going to be a good one. Harry Enten is laying it on real thick, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun countering that information. Now, everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. This is, of course, the midnight snack right before the live the live feed. I want to show you guys something to set the table on this because this is on the eve of the big elections tomorrow. Who's going to win? Who's going to win all the blue states? Yeah, let me rephrase that. Who's going to win all the blue states? The fact that it's even close means you are making more of an impact that they don't want to tell you. Watch this, and then I'm going to bring in the Harry Enten clip, okay? Guys, you have to see through the weeds on this because the very fact that what I'm about to show you exists is more proof positive to you are making the difference. All right, look, this is real clear politics. This is New Jersey, okay? The overall spread is the Democrat by plus 3%. Guys, plus 3% overall in New Jersey. Now let me show you something else. You see this one? Atlas Intel. That's a very accurate pollster. That's plus 1. See down there, Trafalgar Insider Advantage? That's plus 1. Those are two pretty accurate pollsters. Plus 1 in New Jersey. Now, I will be the first one to tell you before we go into these next pieces, you have to vote. You have to vote like you're losing, and you have to count everything after you've done everything you can. I will always say it. That's my disclaimer. But we're going to walk through something, and I want you guys to tell me in the comments if you pick this out, because what we're about to show you has a real serious little flaw in the whole Democrats hanging their hats on it. Watch this, okay? This is Harry Enten. I love this guy's analysis. I love his data. Sometimes he does, however, miss a pretty important piece. For example, listen to this. Here we go.
I mean, the common denominator here is Donald Trump, and Democrats are on the precipice of delivering a huge blow to Donald Trump in his second term. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just look? Democrats lead all the key races. You go to New Jersey governor. That's really the only close one. Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat, up by 6 points. Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, up by 10. Zohran Mamdani, up by 16 points in New York City. The bottom line is this. Yes, there are ideological differences between the Democrats, but the key common component is they are all going after Donald Trump. And all the Democrats lead from New Jersey to Virginia to New York City. They all lead the Republican and independent opponents.
How much is he impacting the cases? Never mind that they want to beat him in their minds. It's sort of like, hey, this is to show you that we can beat you. But how much is he affecting these?
I mean, look, Donald Trump is a huge, huge drag in all of these races. Look at his net popularity ratings.
I'm going to stop him for a real quick second. You guys see the list of states? New Jersey, well, and cities. New Jersey, Virginia, New York City. Blue strongholds. They are being happy about the fact that in a midterm special election in deep blue states, they're winning, even though in New Jersey it is literally by 1 point. The victory in New Jersey will be gravy on top if you happen to win. The fact that it's plus 1 point difference in a state where Jersey has Trump on minus 11 because it's a deep blue state is pretty indicative of something going wrong in the Democrat messaging, isn't it? But he's not saying that. And I get why he's not saying it, because that's pretty obvious why you would not want to say that on CNN if you've got all these Democrat beneficial polls. However, again, New York City's electing a communist, or excuse me, socialist. That's pot calling. I mean, that's like potato, potato. Virginia, where all the DC workers live in the middle of a shutdown and it goes blue. And New Jersey, which is in the Northeast New Jersey, Union, New Jersey, which is 1 point different. This isn't really saying exactly what you think it is, Hair Bear. I mean, honest to goodness. But let's continue, because I got some other stuff to show you too. It really adds a little bit of color when you look at the entire situation. Not just look at the numbers, look where they are. This would be something if Trump was down 11 points in Florida, Ohio, or Arkansas. Okay, let's keep on going.
New Jersey, he's 11 points underwater. Virginia, 14 points underwater. Not much of a big surprise in New York. He's 35 points underwater. And I will note nationally in my aggregate polls, he's about 13 points underwater. In our CNN poll, he's way below that, which looks a lot like New Jersey, a lot like Virginia. So these races, in my mind, could be huge bellwethers going into next year to understanding how Donald Trump is impacting these races. He is a huge, huge drag in across the board, New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City.
Do these races tell us anything about the midterm as to what happens here and what might happen in the midterm?
Yeah, okay. So, I was mentioning, of course, Donald Trump being a huge drag, right? He's at his second term lows, not just in our CNN poll, but across the different polls that we were looking at this weekend. And why is it that these races are so important? Well, go back through history, jump in that DeLorean. Look at what has happened when Democrats sweep New York City, New Jersey, and Virginia governor. They won the U.S. House the next year 5 out of 5 times in the last 90 years. You go all the way back to the FDR administration. So the bottom line is this. When Democrats do well in these off-year elections, when they sweep New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City, historically speaking, that means they go on to win the U.S. House of Representatives the next time around. And when we're in this national polarized environment and Donald Trump is as unpopular as he is, I think that history is likely to hold if, in fact, Democrats do sweep tomorrow, which it...
Okay. You get the idea. The Democrats are going to take the House because they're going to take the Senate. And the leading indicators are showing that they're going to sweep all 3 of these races. What he's not taking in consideration is how deeply unpopular the Democrats are across the board at unprecedented levels. That's a slight little tiny difference across all the other reference points that he's hitting. He's also saying that those blue states, it's a big wonder and amazement that in a midterm year, when there's no Republican or Democrat control, that there would be a pushback. It's kind of like when Obama was in control with all chambers or all levers of power, there was a massive red wave because the midterms always tend to go the other direction. But they're not telling you this stuff. They're just saying, oh, look, it's amazing because Donald Trump's so unpopular and the Democrats are obviously the best. They're not the best. And here's when I bring forward this right here. Democrats do need to provide a better alternative to Donald Trump. It cannot be only about going after him. It needs to be about presenting alternatives, said Senator Chris Van Hollen when slapped with his party's dismal 29% approval rating. I'll come back to that in a second. But listen to this. This is Frank Luntz. This is another pollster. Guys, all of these things are not happening in a vacuum, and everything that Harry Enten just came forward with may have been specifically accurate data, but it was not taken in context of which cities and states we're talking about here. This would be like water weighing in an ocean. Okay? Watch Frank Luntz here. There's an amazing clip.
I believe that the shutdown is politically motivated. I believe that if they wanted to, they could find common ground, but they choose not to. And that has hurt the Republican brand, the Republican reputation. Their numbers are down, as you point out in your own polling of Donald Trump. But the numbers that have fallen the worst, to my surprise, are the Democrats. Everyone is being hurt by this. Everyone's credibility and respect, and looking at the government, and the public just looks at this and says, why? Why can't you find some agreement? Why can't you give? Why can't you cooperate? And that's going to be a very big question Wednesday and Thursday when this election is over. It is hurting the Republicans, but it seems to be hurting the Democrats even more.
Seems to be hurting the Democrats even more. Again, look at all the context. I'm going to show you this clip, especially in our live tonight. 29% approval rating for the Democrats. And you're supposed to be celebrating that you're winning a governor's race in Virginia, deep blue Virginia, and then you're winning a potential governor race in New Jersey, which is 1 point different, which is a deep blue state, which shouldn't even be close if you were in a healthy situation. And then you got a socialist in New York City. Congratulations. Okay? But again, it doesn't really jive with 29% approval rating, and the Democrats are taking more damage on this, according to Frank Luntz, to his surprise. The bottom line here, guys, you vote like you're losing. You vote like you're grinding, and you look back after everything is done. When all the cards are on the floor, when all the chips are on the table, let's frickin' go. You have an opportunity to continue to take your country in the right direction, but you need to be active. This right here is more noise. It will not help. It will not hurt. What I'm trying to give you is context so we move forward. And I hope you guys see what I'm landing, or the plane that I'm flying. And if I landed it correctly, let me see you on the live stream tonight. See you later, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.